Welcome to the couch.
I feel like we're like the big comfy couch.
It reminds me of like the Amanda show or something like that. I feel like they had
Yeah.
stuff like this.
They did. Oh, she was on her bed.
Yes.
She's like, yep.
So welcome back. All right, what's our topic?
So our topic today is discussing business strategies and planning for 2024. What to ask ourselves, what to ask our business partners if you do have a business partner. Bridget and I have been just discussing today, like what it looks like for us to run Visibility on Purpose next year. Like what we want to change, what we're doing well. So anyways, definitely take out a pen and paper. This is really going to help you. We're going to like just riff off like questions and go through them, but like I would even take these down for yourself.
Yeah,
You know
write it
what?
down.
We'll put them in the show notes.
Perfect.
We'll put them in the show notes.
Perfect. I remember years ago when I was doing my like wellness coaching, I literally would have like journal prompts and I would make Canva like journal prompts. It was actually like great. People loved
really
them.
cute.
People like save them. They were
Yeah.
actually like great for engagement. I was like, they would like share them
Oh
in their
wow.
story. Freaking
Are you gonna make
journal
some?
prompts, maybe. Maybe.
We'll talk about it.
So good. Okay, so yeah, we basically looked up like some really good questions to be asking ourselves. And since we're together, we have more time and space to like think about some of those like businessy things. And we just like finished our taxes. So
Yeah.
we're in that like space of thinking about, okay, how does this business operate? What are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, what do we want to do next year? Blah, blah, blah. So the first one is, who is our target audience and how has it changed over the last year?
So our target audience, I feel like when we started Visibility on Purpose, actually we started just collaborating first. We didn't even build the business yet.
Yeah.
So we've been in business for a whole year now, but we've had our own businesses for a while. And the way that our audience has shifted is we used to think we wanted to talk to more spiritual, holistic type of practitioners, and we still do work with a lot
Because
of
that's like who we are
Right.
also. Like we love that content, we speak that language, we met in a manifestation
we
group.
did on Facebook. But what we realized was we actually both have a robust business background. We both worked in corporate, like we both worked in, we had really, you were in a business frat in college. Like we have this other aspect of us, and we both really desire to build a business that operates almost like corporate, but like,
That's cooler.
Yeah.
And people want to be a part of it. Like almost creating, I think why I'm so inspired by some of these like tech startup companies
Okay,
is that they do have more of that movement based ideology. It's like they want to bring people onto their teams that believe in whatever they're creating.
Yeah.
So they have that, but then they also have structures in place.
That's what it is. It's structures. So not necessarily corporate, but we're inspired by the way that a lot of these businesses are run because they like budget. They think about like they have a quarterly budget maybe for marketing, for PR,
Yep.
for these things that really move the needle for your business. And what we've realized is a lot of solopreneurs or solo entrepreneurs, they're still learning, or maybe they don't have any inspiration to go beyond a certain point, or they think they do. Whatever the case is, we
I think
realize.
it's because like online coaching programs
Yeah.
make you think that you just have to post on social media and then you have a business. And
Right.
it's like they're not looking at taxes, systems, operations, admin work, emails, like there are so many other things that go into running a business. And we talked about this, I think, in the last episode
Yeah.
too, like a little bit of this illusion of what the online world looks like and why we don't want to operate like that.
Yeah.
And we want to shift everything. So you were saying that our, target audience has really shifted from this like wellness, spiritual, conscious business owner to really the people who call themselves a founder of their company. It might be a startup. Yeah, they're a CEO. It might be a small business, but they might use social media or they might use the online space, but they're operating much differently. It's like a mindset thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we also realize that like a lot of companies, like mid-level companies, can really benefit from our services. So, our customers can be lots of different things now. Like our audience isn't just maybe like the health practitioner, which we do still like to work with those depending on the industry. But health practitioners as well as like maybe chiropractic offices
Mhm.
or real estate investment firms, or like these businesses that are set up for great press opportunities, and they're looking to really just build brand awareness, build credibility and trust because they have something else in mind for their business. They're
Yeah.
looking for the long term. They're looking to really just like move. I always joke around, it's like legacy building mode, but it really is moving it out of like, this is a short term business into this is a long term business. We're ready to scale. We also have been talking to other companies about potentially selling our course in to go inside their course or doing some
Yeah.
sort of like affiliate
We
thing.
realize that our audience doesn't necessarily just have to be the individual. We can actually be, if we want to partner with companies, we can
Right.
actually be, selling our courses to the company itself,
Yeah.
not, and they could sell it to their people,
Mhm.
not just direct to consumer.
Yeah.
So there's just, we've been thinking about the way things so much differently. And another piece of this is what we've learned is that our courses are really, really good at helping a founder understand how to position themselves, how to speak about their work, how to feel confident. And we literally show you the resources, the tools, how to get yourself in the media. And there are founders who might not have the time. So we've been
No.
expanding this to their team. So we have someone going through Pitch Party right now who their team is actually the one who's understanding, going through the course to be able to pitch the founder, which that was a big shift too, because that's a company that's you don't have someone on your team if you're not a little bit more established in business.
Yeah.
And that feels so good to say, yeah, your team could like we're training your team as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll give you guys a little bit of context. It was a real estate investor, which is why we like mentioned it a second ago, who it has a huge portfolio and he's looking to build and be more of like a personal brand to help others learn how to do this. I think he has like a variety of different properties, but I know he has a lot of short-term rentals. And so he has his assistant or team, whoever that is, marketing person, I have no idea, going through our course and pitching him, and he's already gotten great press features. Like he's already gotten featured on NASDAQ, Go Rate Banking, right? Yahoo. So
Mhm.
these are all big, big sites that have really great
Newsweek.
links. Newsweek, and they're really fantastic for link building. They're really fantastic for SEO. They're really fantastic for new audience members to find you and for that credibility and that trust. So maybe he has other plans of like going to other businesses and selling his stuff. And so he can be like, hey, I am great for X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, because I've been featured here. So there's a lot of things that press can be used for and really valuable to these bigger companies.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's not doing anything. He's like sitting on his portfolio, meaning that he has property managers, he has people running things, like it's a whole business. So thinking about that, like how can we cater to those types of businesses and
Yeah.
individuals in addition to what we already are serving?
And I think that this shift has felt really good. So we've really gone from like this wellness spiritual entrepreneur to founders, CEOs of startup companies, real estate companies. They might be health practitioners who have their own clinic,
Yes.
in person as well. So this has been a big shift in the way that we talk about our programs, the way we even talk about our business, the way we talk about who we want to work with. And I think sometimes like you have to just like figure that out over time.
Yeah.
We needed to just start somewhere. And I was listening to my first million podcast this morning on a walk, and the guy was talking
Somebody
about
can like tag them one day and just be like, wow, Bridget's our biggest fan.
I was thinking on the walk, I was like, one day when we're on the show,
Yeah,
can't wait to tell them how I used to mention their podcast all the time.
literally every day.
All the time.
Like,
But they were
"So
interviewing
sorry."
this guy who wrote this book, and it was like, not now. Oh no. Gosh, I forgot what the book was called. Anyway, the concept was just start. Like just
Yeah.
move something forward. It might not be perfect right away, but start, and then you're going to receive feedback and information of like, okay, is it working? And then you can pivot, from there. So this first question was, who is your target audience and how has that changed?
So good.
Number two, what's shifting in your industry? What's shifting in our industry?
Shifting in our industry. So throughout the years of PR, I've seen a lot of shifts happen for product. What has happened is we have shifted kind of out of you can still get organic press features, but there's a lot more affiliate links involved, meaning that like if you have a product-based company, they may want you to be on a major retailer so that they can get paid from the major retailer. So they can use those clicks. Like Amazon does that, where like they encourage other press features to go to their site, to backlink to their site. So these are things to consider if you're a product-based company. Now, other things that we've seen shifting wise, which really impacts us, and we're capitalizing on this. I'm a publicist, mind you, but opportunity people. Anyways, what we've noticed is that brands, especially personal brands, I think there's a lot of shifts in. I wish we should look up statistics, but I feel like there's a lot of shifts in people starting their own businesses and shifting out of corporate.
That's definitely happening.
Yeah, like this is not a secret. This is happening.
Someone
So-
find us the statistic.
Find me the statistic. But what we've noticed is that a lot of businesses or personal brands, they've realized that they can also they can get their own features. And there's companies that have come out like Quoted, like Harrow. Harrow's been around for a long time, but there's other ones like this that are almost like relationship building platforms between media contacts, writers, producers,
You said
etc.
it so good in your post. You said it's like, think about LinkedIn, but in the PR space. Like, I forget what you wrote.
Oh,
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I stole that from Quoted.
Oh, that's what they did. Great job.
But anyways, hey, Quoted. The way that they explained their platform, and I thought it was really good, is like it's almost like LinkedIn, where they really want to build relationships, but with media contacts and publicists, as well as they said creators or brand founders. So what we can do is we can help provide a service to help them learn how to pitch themselves to the media if they're not necessarily hiring a third party just yet, and there's this middle ground of new businesses being started, and maybe they don't want to invest in a publicist just yet. We can close that gap
Oh,
and provide our service.
so good.
yeah,
And
our
another thing
courses.
that's shifting in the industry, which we just did a YouTube video on, is this platform Harrow is shifting
Yeah.
also. You know, and many of these middle ground relationship building platforms between the PR professionals and the sources and the writers, they're realizing that there's a buck to make there too. So Harrow's been this platform since like 2008 that was all about help a reporter out. You know, you're a source, you help that reporter out by giving them valuable information and commentary so they can write a better story or a better piece. And that was always free, you know, so that was free to any, like, how long have you been using that platform?
I've been using Harrow for many years. I don't know how many, but many, many years. It's been like one of the biggest ways that I pitch my clients. It's like I'm pitching them actively on story angles that we creatively come up with, or I
Yeah.
creatively come up with. And then also on the other side, I'm looking through Harrow newsletters every single
day.
day to see like what writers are doing. And I think that I wonder if Harrow took this idea from like Twitter. Like there's still a lot of writers that use Twitter, and they'll post about what stories they're working on. I've seen a lot of people using LinkedIn for that too, but there's so many different platforms. I think people are realizing over the past few years is the power of connection online, and that they can get their valuable sources through different platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So that's a big shift in our industry too, because that is something that, you know, you've been using
Yeah.
as a publicist. We share that resource with our clients. So we are, you know, actively making sure that we are building relationships with these new platforms that are coming on the scene.
Yeah, because Harrow is going to be charging. They're switching over to create
Connectively. And I just don't love I don't love the pricing structure of paying per pitch. It's not even like a
It's per
monthly.
pitch.
Yeah, so you got like credits for
Or even
each
like look into
pitch.
it.
I don't like that. There might be another way to do it, but it
Yeah.
was like, you know, 50 pitches, but it's like you could send out 50 pitches and nothing happens.
Yeah. Hey, Harrow, if you want to come to us for some feedback, we'd love to give it to you.
Check out the YouTube video. I gave
true.
pros and cons because there
Yeah.
are some pros to it.
There's
so.
definitely pros. I've been using it for a long time. It's built by Cision. Cision is a great resource that I've
And
also
Cision owns
used.
Muckrack, right?
No, they're
No.
separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Different platforms. Lots of platforms.
Lots of them. Well,
Lots
we
of
have all of
resources.
them in Pitch Party.
We
all
do.
of
We
them.
have all of our resources in Pitch Party.
So our next question is, who do we want to collaborate with? So I think this one's all about like thinking, I think it was last time we were together that we talked about some people are Debbie Downers and some people are opportunity people.
Mhm.
So we're always thinking about, okay, who can we partner with? Who can we link arms with? Who can we, yeah, just collaborate with and expand our mission? So I think our big thing has been, okay, what kind of company serves a similar ideal audience but does not offer PR services? And that's kind of how we came up with, okay, working with some publishing companies who, they're helping these authors who are also business owners write a book, but when it comes time to like making sure that them as the author, aka personal brand, are also being seen, they don't really offer anything for them. So working with publishing companies, and we're going to start to dip our toes in working with some marketing companies that offer programs for their clients but don't offer any kind of PR programs.
And we also have been we've been really excited about building more of our affiliate program out. So these are even like friends and colleagues that have lots of different businesses, but maybe they realize that somebody can benefit from our work. And we've been already doing payouts. Like,
I
which is
remember
so
like
fun.
going on PayPal, writing the number in and pressing send and feeling like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. Like
We
when,
love collaboration in general.
yeah, and when other people can share your work for you, I mean, it's even more. I remember this quote, and I'm not gonna like be able to say it properly, but something along the lines of there's nothing more powerful than other people sharing your work for you,
Yeah.
which is like what Yelp was built on, right? Because they knew the power of a review, the power of a third party individual saying that your work is good.
Yep.
Because obviously us as the founders, we're like, yeah, it's the tits. Like it is literally the best thing ever. Of course it is, but for someone else who, believes in our mission, maybe they've taken our course themselves, they've already gotten the results and they want to share this with their clients, like that is the best way. So if anyone's listening and you work with some of the founders that we've been talking about and you want to have an additional revenue stream, send us an email, info@visibilityonpurpose.com.
Join our affiliate program.
But I think that's smart. And like for anyone listening, it's not just about who you can directly sell to, but it's who can you link arms with where you can be a value add.
Yeah.
Like both ways. It's just,
Yeah.
again, expanded ways of thinking. And I think this is where we go back to how big businesses operate versus just the online entrepreneur who's just thinks that social media is the only way that they can market their business.
Right.
We need to think wider. Like when you go on big company websites, they always have like our partners. They're
Yeah.
always saying like, here's who we partner with, here's who we support.
Right.
Same idea.
Or they have affiliate programs in place where it's just a sign up. And how good does it feel when you hear about one of your colleagues like making a new sale because of you? Like, how good does that feel?
Amazing.
I like just had a friend tell me that she ended up like closing with somebody that I referred her to, and I was like, oh my, I helped you make money? Like, I don't even want anything from it. Speaking of, like, I got a text from my VA the other day. She just like sent me $100 because she was like, oh, you referred me. Oh, it was one of our clients.
I love that.
Yeah. One of our clients from BOP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, I just wanted to send you a gift. And I'm like, what? Like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But like, also, I guess you could consider that an affiliate, but like, you don't have to do this. I just am so happy that I can be of value and of service to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
what a gift is that?
And think about it, I mean, from both perspectives, you're helping your VA market her services when she doesn't have to. So I remember there's like this term, something around like the cost of acquisition. It's like how much money or time does it take to get a new client? And if that amount is actually less than, or that amount is more if you do it yourself versus if someone else does it for you, like that's you saved yourself time and you
Right.
got more money in the door.
Right.
So I remember when I was doing the publishing company, I think I've told you this, like I had a lot of affiliate sales. I was paying
Yeah.
people out all the time, and it felt so good because I had to do less selling. So more time back for me, and I got to expand my network and I was making more money at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's just such a win. Affiliates all the way. If you
Yeah.
have a similar aligned, message, mission, values, and they're offering something that you don't, it's like, why not?
Huge perspective shift and something to just like noodle on is
Noodle.
noodle on. time equals money.
Mm.
Like this year was the year that I finally understood that. People would just be like, time is money. Like how many times have you seen people talk about it like on TV shows, like maybe like your dad or your uncle, whatever. Like time truly is money when we're speaking about like a concept of value. At the end of the day, money's value, right?
Mhm.
So if time is valuable to you and you can get that time back to focus on other things, like you're making more money. Time is money. I can now spend my time doing something else that's going to maybe having meetings with like
Yeah.
head of corporate of X, Y, and Z while others are sharing our work on the back end. Like time is money.
And I think this is,
So
it comes
interesting.
back to that like book that I'm still reading, 10x is easier than 2x. And they ask
So
you,
many people have been talking about this book. Did this just like come out?
no, it's
Everybody,
like a concept.
that's so crazy. I walked by his building. He has a
Really?
building in Fort Lauderdale.
I
I
believe
literally
it.
saw 10x on it. They were like, oh yeah,
I
that's it. I
think
was like,
there are
what?
multiple people. It might be a different book. I
Okay.
think there are multiple books like on this concept, but
Everyone's talking about this.
he asks you like what is your unique thing? Like what is something that's just uniquely yours? And basically everything else, if possible, should be outsourced because
Right.
you're like wasting money on that. If you're going to be able to move things forward and 10x your growth by you being the only one who's on those sales calls with big corporate companies, someone else should be doing everything else.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut off our next question because we asked ourselves this question a month ago.
Yes.
So the question is, what can you delegate? Is the next question. And it should be a long ass list.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a long list because whatever you think you can't delegate, you probably can, unless it is something that is so unique to you and your mind, you have to be there. Like we were talking about, okay, what can we delegate or teach someone else to do so we don't have to do it? One of the things that's a huge suck for us, and even if we enjoy it sometimes, like I enjoy being creative sometimes, but posting and showing up on all of our social platforms is something that takes so much time, especially like creating new graphics on Canva and like making it attractive. So we outsource that. We got some interns.
Bye. And we've also asked ourselves, what do we want to be doing? Like the most important
Yeah.
thing for both of us is this podcast because it's just so much fun. We're
Mhm.
pouring a lot of energy right now into our YouTube channel. So any content that is like that needs to be created by us, that's now under us. Everything else, like the sharing of that content, is not us.
Yep.
Which feels so good. And the other thing that we need to be involved in is like high level sales, where we're
Yeah.
talking about partnering with companies where we can add value to them. We need to be on those calls. So it's like anything else can be outsourced. And there are people who want to do that,
Yeah.
which is such a great reminder because like, you know me, I'm not interested in Canva-ing all day.
Right. And it's so interesting because like you were talking about how you listened to my first million. My first million. And there was somebody who said they used interns to really like build their company.
It's crazy.
And I mean, we could even do this better. Like, think about how we can better use time with our interns. But already, one of our interns is graduating with like a marketing degree and she wants to learn the analytics of marketing. And so we kind of like let her take the reins on a lot of that, looking at the analytics, doing reports. She's getting credit for this. So, like, she's writing them with her professor. She's like doing reports for her professor and asked us to review that. So not only are we getting support, but she's also able to now like get real life experience from a company and learn and get credit for it, which is amazing.
And like bring us, we wanted it to be an open conversation. So like bring us your ideas. Like if you
Yeah.
think we could be doing something better, I'm all ears because the words efficiency just like does something for me.
Yeah, me and you we're like, let's go.
Move it along. If it's
Mhm.
working and it's doing well, like let's have it be quick and efficient.
Mhm. I think what we're really good at too, and not a lot of companies do this, is we're both really good at reviewing what's working well and shifting. Already, I feel like we've had a million iterations of our company, and we've
Yes.
been working together in the company for like 1 year. That's it.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been like 10 years.
You shared the other day, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, a video of us talking about who is PR right for.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
so
so
cute.
cute to see the evolution because so much has changed. The content hasn't really changed. Like what we're
Yeah.
teaching, because like it's a methodology. We're teaching you step by step. this is how you can get featured. This is how you can land a TV interview. Like, we know what we talk about is really valuable.
Yeah.
But the way I think we show up and the way we speak about our company has changed a lot. We
Oh
didn't
my
have a
God,
company at that
so
point.
much. Also, we were like just still figuring it out. We're still, I mean, we're always figuring it
Yeah.
out. Like, we're not ever perfect and we're not ever finished. We're always evolving. And that's what makes a good business anyway.
Absolutely. On My
Evolution.
First Million, they were talking about how many times like they've had projects that fail.
Yeah.
And they're like, failure is the quickest way to creating something big. Because God damn it, you will learn so fast.
Yeah.
You're gonna figure out what
Yeah.
works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about relationships. So I think the question here is, how are relationships important for your business and what are you doing to strengthen those relationships? So I think one of the big things that we've recognized in the last year, that although having an online business is incredible because we have people from all over the world that we wouldn't have otherwise connected with, in-person connection can move the needle so much quicker.
And what we're both really weirdly good at, separately and together, is bringing people together.
Yep.
I didn't realize I was good at this until literally recently. And then I was like, reflected on my life and I was like, I've always been doing this. Even I used to joke around that like for my birthdays, I would bring together, it was like the one day a year where I could bring together
Like
all
the
my friends.
weird
Yeah,
groups, yeah.
nobody makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, here's my college folks, my New York City folks, my home friends, my friends from like a weird hobby I have, whatever. Everybody comes together. And it was funny because it got to the point where like every year I had everyone come down for my birthday. It's in the summer, Jersey Shore, whatever. And everyone be like, oh, we're going to the Shore House. And they'd be like, they like literally were friends with each other like for my birthday week. And it was so fun. They'd be like, oh my God. Like, it was just like so cool to see that they've created their own like almost like vacation friends, you know?
Do you feel like the way I see it, okay, party, the way I see it is
We're on Zoom, can you tell?
I feel like I'm a very good chameleon. Like I can shapeshift into, in like a positive way,
Oh,
into
me too.
any environment, any group, and just like have a good time. So
Yeah.
people naturally are attracted to that. And I just like to be social. So that happens quite easily. Like, what do you attribute to that being a skill of yours?
I think that I'm really curious. And I also, I think we both are really good at this, but we both are just like here to fucking have a good time. No, seriously, like if you throw me into a group of video gamers, I know nothing about video games, but I'm curious. Like I want to learn. Like I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to tell you to show me your fucking characters.
Yes.
Like
So what do you dress them in?
Seriously, I'm like, okay, what can we talk about? Like, I want to have fun. Like, why would you not make a good time out of any situation? I think that's kind of where that stems from for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool. I wonder if it's in your like, I've been talking about the Gene Keys, but like that was actually a realization for me is looking at my whole sphere of my activation sequence, that's what it's called, which is like the big one in your Gene Keys, but like learning about how to just accept people for like who they are and like celebrating that almost is like basically in my keys. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
That's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And so like
I'm
being,
curious.
I bet you have the same like similar vibe because both of us could just like really be put in a room with whoever and be like, we're gonna have fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's do one more question. Let's do what platforms are working right now versus what do we feel like is kind of phasing out. And for those listening, you can ask yourself, like, if I look at all the platforms that I use to market my product or my service, what's working, what's not working?
Yeah. And if you guys want to like comment on this too, I'm curious. A year ago, I could not be caught dead on LinkedIn.
Now you're like a LinkedIn queen.
I'm linking it up. I freaking love LinkedIn.
I feel like we've also had so many conversations about like, how do we use LinkedIn? Because it is a different platform. Like all of them work differently.
So we've had like, yeah. And also what I'm realizing, okay, this is actually something random. This using these platforms to the best of their abilities by optimizing profiles is something that I keep thinking about. I optimized my own profile and I saw a huge shift in requests, connection requests. And then also not being afraid to tag companies when we're talking about them because they actually do troll and like respond, which is really great. And we actually tagged a company that we love and they reached out to us about potentially partnering. So we'll see if that happens. You guys can come back to this video. But yeah, so that's one that I would just like I would sing praises over. You?
This one is, I'm still trying to figure out the ropes of it, but it's called Alignable, and it's basically branded as like this referral network online where you create a profile, you talk about your business, you talk about your ideal client, but you also actually write in your referral partners and who you'd
Mhm.
want to have as referral partners. And then there's a bunch of like groups. It doesn't feel as selly as like Facebook groups have become. It's not like an outright sell because again, it's with that who can I partner with?
Yeah.
So I joined a publishing group so that we can start to just connect with other publishers. And it actually worked out that one of them bought one of our courses because she's an author herself. And I was like, amazing.
Yeah.
But Alignable is just, it just seems, I'm still figuring out, seems like a good way to build relationships where I'm not like posting, I'm not creating content for it.
Right.
It's
Right.
a little different. Other ones, Discord. Still, I used to have a networking group on there. Maybe we'll bring that back. I'm gonna say YouTube because I'm really, really impressed with our YouTube channel.
Okay, so we're gonna be like serious YouTubers, like obviously,
Check out my videos. Please give
but
them a
like
like.
look at all of our videos, please. We just it's funny because we have always been big YouTubers. I have used it for everything. I have a joke with my mom because she always asks me tech questions and I'm like, Mom,
YouTube
what do
it.
we say? And she goes, I know, to YouTube it. Like I literally use YouTube for everything. Do you know, like, this is like sad, but whatever. In my 20s, early 20s, I used YouTube to learn how to change my windshield wipers. Like I love YouTube.
I wouldn't know how to change mine.
Like now.
No. Eric just bought me new windshield wipers actually.
Okay.
Because he was like, how do you drive in the rain?
I
I was like, I don't know.
YouTube it.
I'm not a maintenance person.
No, it's okay.
I'm really not. I'm really, really
She'll
bad at
cook it. She'll cook up a storm.
I'll cook up a storm
She
for you.
But yeah, and then you actually use it to watch blogs. I have a few blogs that I watch on YouTube, and it's such an amazing platform to connect with people. And we've seen like a huge boost in numbers and subscribers. Like we've been taking YouTube seriously for a month, and we've already seen double in subscribers and in views. And we're like, oh, okay, we want more of this. Like we're gonna be on here forever. Like it's just so great.
Here's the plug. If you're listening to this right now and you're listening on your phone, like as an audio, what's it called? A podcast?
Yeah.
Please go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Or if you're watching this video and you're not a subscriber, please hit that little red subscribe button
Yeah.
and you'll be notified
Yeah.
of the most recent videos.
Yeah. Well, we're also just like natural teachers. We love sharing whatever it is that we're learning. So like why not be on platforms that really encourage that type of content?
And so forever, Eric and I have been watching many of these like YouTube travel vloggers, and it's 20
They're so
minutes.
fun.
They do such a great job, and like we love to go to Europe, so we'd love to watch those videos to see like where should we go and like
Oh my
what's
God,
really
I
cool
was doing the
things.
same
Yeah.
thing. Oh
You
my
plan your
gosh.
trip, and then I
Yeah.
also watch like packing videos. But anyway, I'm like, how much did I fit in this 40-liter carry-on?
Leader. Somebody has done this recently.
But I totally took for granted all that goes into video editing.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get like really cool with my editing on the videos by so normally when I've done videos in the past, it's just like me talking to the screen. There's no B-roll, there's nothing else going on behind the scenes. So please head on over to these videos because you're gonna see that I'll be talking, but there's stuff going on behind me. And I'm proud of it.
That's right.
I'm really proud.
I mean, I have not done this type of impressive editing work yet, so I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Is
you.
there any like final types of Facebook. We don't really use Facebook anymore like we used to.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one that's like not working the same way. I don't think people want to sit on Facebook all day anymore. They want to get in their life.
Mhm.
They want to use platforms to very quickly engage. They don't want to be scrolling so much. They don't want to be watching videos on YouTube. I had an entire program that was called Rock the Mic Online that was teaching people how to make live video on Facebook. And that would never have lasted
No.
because like the platform just changes the algorithm and buying behavior and consumer behavior
Yeah.
has completely changed.
Yeah.
So I think that one's changing.
I agree. And like what we've also had conversations about is what platforms are made for business and what platforms are made for social.
Mm,
And that's a great question to even ask yourself, like, does this make sense for me to spend my time here? And then another thing, just platforms, if we want to talk about that, we were talking about in person, but like I joined an in-person networking
mm,
group, and that's been really working for me to get into the local community. And like I'm meeting with a social media agency next week, which I'm by the way.
love that.
By the way. Um
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yep. Yep.
Okay.
It was there.
Anyways.
It was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Going back to local, I feel that big movement back to local
Mhm.
anyway. I think because people realize that they want to be engaged with humans
Mhm.
and that working alone on their laptop all day is not really as sexy as it is made out to be.
Yeah.
So I think these things are going to continue to change. We're always looking for new platforms that are simple, that really move the needle forward, that don't need us to be creating content, all the time. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. So if you're using platforms that you're really loving right now, please tell us, because I'm sure there are other ones out there that we don't even know about.
True.
I think that's the pod today.
That's the pod.
That's the pod. So, questions again: who is your target audience? How has it changed? What's shifting in your industry? Who do you want to collaborate and partner with? What are you outsourcing?
Mhm.
Right? Why are relationships important to you in business? And what platforms are working versus not working?
Let us know what you guys uncover. This is so much fun to do. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time working in our business and not enough time working on it. And at the end of the day, these are the conversations that double, triple, quadruple
Yeah,
your sales.
you need that perspective sometimes
Yeah.
and not be in it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for
Thanks for
listening.
listening. See you later.
Oh, see you later.
Tell us if this works. Looks backwards.